prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Keep my head up when I act, head up, that's a fact. Never looking back, I'ma keep myself on track. Keep my head up, staying strong, always moving on. Feel I don't belong, tell my thoughts to move along. Push myself to be the best, die with no regrets. Live with every breath, see my message start to spread. And I had so many dreams, then you hit your teens. Life ain't really what it seems, try to find out what it means. Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Yeah, I put out all this art, it's my only medicine. Yeah, everything I do, I'm just being genuine. Yeah, I'm sick of being screwed, feel my own adrenaline. Yeah, I do just what I do, and I hope you let me in, yeah. I'm grateful, oh yeah, able, oh yeah, I'm stable, oh yeah, no label, oh yeah, you know me, I have only a path, I'm lonely, but damn, I'm going to win. I want no fake love, I want the real stuff. Everybody listen up, cause I'll only say it once. I'm gonna show you all the path, if you want it bad. I'm gonna show you where it's at, yeah, how you can get it back. Yeah, cause I ain't never done, I'll be number one. Working hella hard until I get just what I want, yeah. Rises like the sun, yeah, fatal like a gun. Shooter's gonna shoot and I'm gonna shoot until I fall, yeah. Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Yeah, I put out all this art, it's my only medicine. Yeah, everything I do, I'm just being genuine. Yeah, I'm sick of being screwed, feel my own adrenaline. Yeah, I do just what I do, and I hope you let me in, yeah.
Feel like the unappreciated scholars, so you shit on the people who know less than you. No, which is everybody. Yes.
All right. So we are deep diving Mr. John Wayne.
American hero.
Yes, he is. And of course, in 2025, people want to call him the most racist person ever.
Well,
so I was like, okay, we'll talk about it.
He did. Well, I'll see what you have in terms of content. But yes, he did say some things that maybe wouldn't be taken so well in 2025.
Yeah, but you're talking about he made comments in the 60s or 70s that actually came true.
Yeah,
Interesting how that works.
Funny how that is. Yeah. You know, you racist, you were right all along. How about that?
So, so we're going to play this first clip. I've got about 10 clips. And it's a couple of John Wayne talking, a couple of people that worked with John Wayne. So we'll kind of get a variety of different things. And then, we'll go from there.
My right name is Marion Michael Morrison, and
it's a good name.
The studio decided that it was not American enough for a boy who was going to play Breckenridge Coleman in the Big Trail back in 1929. So the studio heads were put together, and they came up with the name John Wayne. But long before I had the name John Wayne, I was going to school in Glendale, and I had a dog named Duke. And the dog would follow me as far as the fire station on the way to school in the morning and wait at the fire station for me to return in the evening. And the firemen all knew the dog's name, but they didn't know mine. So they called the dog Big Duke and me Little Duke. That was a few years ago.
What did you study at Glendale?
Well, at Glendale High School, it was just in Glendale, it was just grammar school and high school.
And then at
I went
college?
to the University of Southern California. I took pre-legal course.
Did you ever intend to be a lawyer?
Yes, I think I would have enjoyed the occupation, but while I was going to...
Interesting how he wanted to be a lawyer.
I'm in my head, I'm trying to picture John Wayne as a lawyer.
Yeah, could you imagine that? Okay, so just a little bit of little background. John Wayne, born Marion Robert Morrison, May 26th, 1907 in Winterist, Iowa. was one of the most iconic figures in American cinema, known professionally as the Duke, but embodied rugged individualism, heroism, and an American frontier spirit. Through his roles in over 140 films, particularly westerns and war movies, his larger-than-life persona made him a symbol of the mid-20th century masculinity, influencing generations of actors and filmmakers. Wayne passed away June 11th, 1979, two years after I was born, from stomach cancer, but his legacy endures a film culture and even public infrastructure. Wayne's family moved from Iowa to California when he was a toddler. Due to his father's health issues, they attempted ranching in the Mojave Desert before settling in Glendale, California, right next to Burbank. A promising football player at the University of Southern California, USC, Wayne lost his scholarship after a body surfing injury, which he hid from his coach. This led to a job as a prop boy and extra at Fox Studios. Thanks for connections with the silent film star Tom Mix and a director, John Ford. John Ford and John Wayne made a ton of movies together.
Okay.
And John Ford is considered one of the greatest directors of all time. And I would love to do a deep dive on John Ford at some point, too.
Okay.
His screen name was John Wayne, was suggested by director Raoul Walsh for his 1930 debut lead role in the epic western A Big Trail. Through the film flopped at the box office. The 1930s saw Wayne grinding through low-budget B westerns, honoring his craft without major stardom. His breakthrough came in 1939 with Ford's Stagecoach, which he played the Ringo Kid, a role that transformed him into a household name and earned him his first Academy Award nomination for Best Actor. So yeah, that's a little bit of on John Wayne.
He also, I believe he personified America to other countries.
Yes.
Like, I think, like, being the Beatles nerd that I am, the Beatles, when they asked them what they thought about America before they came to America, it was that. It was Texas, cowboys. That's what the rest of the world saw America as. And John Wayne was the prototypical cowboy.
And John Wayne took pride in being the representative of what Western or American culture was. He took it seriously. Maybe at fault, he took it too seriously, but he took it seriously. He felt honored that he was a representative of what American culture was.
Yeah, and it was a positive representation of American culture. People in England and France would look and they're like, "Oh, those cowboys are cool." Like, it was, they thought fondly of us.
But he was one of those ones that would speak his mind, regardless if you liked it or not. Right. He spoke his mind.
Hey, that's
and
American
of course, people
too.
want to. Yeah, I mean, it's freedom of speech. He can say whatever he wants. You can be the arbiter of not liking what he says.
Sure.
But yeah, he's an American. He takes pride in it, and if they ask him a question, he answers it, regardless if you like the answer or not.
School, I was offered a job in the summer times, working at the studios. I met Mr. John Ford, and I enjoyed working with him and watching him mold a scene and meld the people to the scene. And then I'd go back to school and look around at these kids, and I'd say, well, this kid's father is a lawyer. This kid's uncle is an established lawyer. And they're going into those offices, and one of them will take me in, and I'll be writing briefs in the back room for 10 or 15 years. And it didn't look quite as appealing or as exciting as pictures. So when I was offered the acting job, I accepted it, never realizing that it would end up a career, but thinking it might establish me so that I could get into the production and finally direct, which I wanted to do.
Why was it cowboy films in particular that interested you?
Well, it wasn't a case of what it interested me, it was a case of that which I fit in best. I was of 6'4", which is a fairly tall man at the
very
time
tall
of
for an
pictures,
actor.
and all the leading ladies are small, so I, you're all bent over like this with those leading ladies. So I fit the background of Westerns better. And in those days, they needed, they didn't.
Yeah, because I don't know if John Wayne ever played a bad guy. So he was always the hero. He was always the bigger than life and larger than life character that was the good guy. Sometimes, like in principle, the good guy, not necessarily like the wearing a cape and everything, but he always did the right thing.
Plus, isn't it, as a movie guy, you would know this more than I would, but isn't it harder to shoot tall actors? Isn't it better? Like a lot of popular actors are actually like shrimps.
Yeah, because it looks weird if you see there's a huge dynamic between the actresses.
Okay.
So they probably had to get apple boxes for the girls to stand on or something. That way that they're kind of the same height.
Yeah.
Just so it doesn't look weird.
Spend quite as much money on doubles and things as they do today, and they expected you to be rugged enough to do a little of this stuff. So I fit that category. So I guess that's why I got started in it.
Have you seen any of the films you made, those early films? Have you seen any of them recently?
I try not to see them.
I saw one, Sagebrush Trail, the other day. Can you remember anything about it?
No, I can't.
Because he made so many of them, it's sort of like... you ever had a record where all the songs sound the same?
Sure.
Kind of the same thing. It's not, John Wayne is beloved, and I appreciate his acting chops, but a lot of his movies are kind of the same.
Yeah, but I think people that's not. I know you don't mean it as a bad thing, but I don't think it's a bad thing. Like when you go to see a John Wayne film, you want to see a certain kind of film.
What I'm saying is you can't have like a John Wayne marathon because all of them would be kind of similar.
Right. It's like an AC/DC album. It's like, all right, I get it. It all sounds the same.
Yeah. But one of my favorite John Wayne movies is the man who shot Liberty Valance, where John Wayne is basically kind of like that lives in the he lives in the town. He's an authoritative figure. People listen to because he's a big guy, and then he's got his friend Pompey, who he everybody says, well, he's a slave. It's like, no, he won him in a card game, and then they were friends ever since.
Oh, all right.
So they were like, well, he's a slave. It's like, no, he's not a slave to him, because Pompey watches his back all the time. So Jimmy Stewart is basically like the new guy in town who's kind of a wimp, and John Wayne sticks up for Jimmy Stewart. Oh, such a great movie. Such a great movie. Yeah, The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. It's one of my favorite movies.
I remember the name Sagebrush Trail. Singing Sand.
Because in my opinion, Jimmy Stewart is top 10 actors of all time.
Everything I've seen him in, he's great. Yep.
Yeah.
I was the first singing cowboy, actually. Really? At least two others than myself. The fellow that sang over here and the fellow that played the guitar over here. And me mouthing the words and hitting these.
And then Elvis do a couple Westerns.
Yes. Yes, he did.
But that was later, though, because Elvis is what, late 50s, early 60s?
Phony strings on the guitar. And I got a little tired of doing this in pictures. And, you had to go by guitar trees and find a guitar right in the middle of the chase. And kids started asking me to sing when I made appearances in studios and theaters. So I went to the boss and said, I've had it as far as the singing is concerned. So he went out and got the top hillbilly singer at the time and brought him in and started making pictures with him, and that was Gene Autry. That was how his career started.
Stagecoach is always considered the turning point in your career.
Yes,
Gene Autry, also part owner of the Texas Rangers back in the day.
Really?
Was able to be a part of a picture in which
Stagecoach is on one of the streaming apps. I'm going to watch it. That's the one he won. I think it's on Tubi. Yeah,
it's got a ton of westerns.
Yeah, I think that was the one he won an Academy Award for. So of course I want to watch that.
Okay.
The reaction became important. They say action pictures and A pictures. But in these action pictures that we made earlier,
Are those cows in the background mooing?
Yeah.
You hear that?
I was just going to listen to those cows.
Had to explain
It's for aesthetics. They're like it's for the background.
the story, tell where you were going, explain, the heavies are going to Ice, so we'll cut across Red Gulch and meet them ahead of time. Then you'd ride out and you'd say, well, this is Red Gulch, and then they'd say, oh, there they come now. And you never had a reaction to any situation. It was just all action, and nobody has a chance to get much of their personality into a picture under those conditions. But in Stagecoach, the story was told with a camera rather than by the mouthing of the leading man. I wanted naturally to be a virile American man on the screen and certainly have healthy and lusty scenes with ladies, but that really wasn't in my mind while I was making the picture. I was so happy to be in a picture with the consideration that was given to the story and to the people in it.
In The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, Donovan and Stoddart were symbolic of the Old West and the New West. Do you think you made Donovan too sympathetic?
I assure you that John Ford is very careful in handling his actors to make sure that no matter what they do, that it helps to create an emotion in the audience. Because after all, good pictures are about people. And if he can get the right emotions out of his actors, it's naturally going to affect the audience.
When you read Charles Porter's book, True Grit, I believe you wanted to buy the rights and film it yourself.
Yes, I offered quite a bit of money. We read it in Galley, and we approached the author through his agent, and it took me a long time to find out that the author hadn't particularly cared about me playing the part of Rooster Cogburn in the picture.
A lot of other people had.
Yeah, it seemed like everybody called me and said, well, there's a part that just fits you, except the author.
Would you
But
have
anyway,
direct-
I drove the price up for him. He made a lot more money because I wanted to play it.
Did he thank you for it?
Not a bit.
Did you intend self-parody in your characterization of
Nope.
Rooster Cogburn?
I don't think it was self-parody. I think it was... the lines had a Mark Twain flavor to them, which is kind of cynical and parody writing on the part of Mark Twain in the old days. I didn't feel that I was making a parody of the character of John Wayne. I was enjoying the humor that was in the lines, but I had no idea of belittling or laughing at the John Wayne character.
You must be offered a lot of parts. What determines you in choosing a particular one?
Personal story, as a rule. Sometimes you're stuck, and it's getting time for an assignment to come up, and you accept stories that are not completed. But as a rule, whenever that happens, you run into a mess. But I haven't learned my lesson completely yet. I still do it on occasion.
What parts would you downright refuse?
Anything mean and petty. I think I've established a character on the screen that may be rough, may be cruel, may have a different code than the average person, but it's never been mean or petty or small.
A great deal from a director named Ingmar Bergman. Often to be most
Bigger, bigger.
eloquent is to be silent.
You're quite right. The film we've just seen has said it all. I think we should say that those nominated for the best performance by an actor are
Marlon Brando in The Godfather.
Who's that?
Michael Caine in Sleuth,
Laurence Olivier in Sleuth.
Peter O'Toole in The Ruling Class,
Paul Winfield in Sounder. The winner is...
I do have a Michael Caine meeting John Wayne for the first time video, so we're gonna watch that too.
Perfect segue. See, and Paul Winfield that they just announced, I saw him act in a play.
Okay.
Played Falstaff in The Merry Wives of Windsor that I went to see.
Interesting.
Not really, but it's true.
Marlon Brando in The Godfather.
Marlon Brando in The Godfather.
Accepting the award for Marlon Brando and The Godfather, Miss Shasheen Littlefeather.
Who apparently is not an Indian.
So basically, culturally appropriated a joke or a rib that.
He got a white girl, dressed her up as an Indian, and had her go out and speak on behalf of the Indian people.
What a fucking douchebag.
Kinda, but I like the fact that it wasn't an actual Indian. That sort of makes me think it was a bit. It's pretty funny, but I don't know. But yes, this is why John Wayne does not like Marlon Brando.
Okay.
Hello, my name is Sasheen Littlefeather. I'm Apache, and I'm president of the National Native American Affirmative Image Committee. I'm representing Marlon Brando this evening, and he has asked me to tell you in a very long speech, which I cannot share with you presently because of time, but I will be glad to share with the press afterwards, that he very regretfully cannot accept this very generous award. And the reasons for this being are the treatment of American Indians today by the film industry. Excuse me.
Just should use smoke signals instead of reading it.
Yeah, no.
More authentic.
Interesting that there was some booze in there. Now everybody's
But
stunning and brave, stunning and brave.
Yeah, see, this virtue signaling wasn't just in the 21st century. They were doing it way back then, unless this is all one great big bit from Marlon Brando.
I don't know. I think it's a douchebag move.
And on television, in movie reruns, and also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee. I beg at this time that I have not intruded upon this evening, and that we will, in the future, our hearts and our understandings will meet with love and generosity.
I'm gonna go buy
Thank
some
you
Land
on
O'Lakes.
behalf of Marlon Brando.
Yeah, I think that's just a kick in the balls.
Yeah, so John Wayne basically said what a jackass move that was. Why don't you go up and accept the award like a man?
I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that.
Sachin Littlefeather. Come on, you could have come up with a better gimmick name. Should have come. Oh, and also accepting the award is Chief J Strongbow. He'll be up here in a minute. Tatanka is going to roll.
Has never wavered.
Pull the Tatanka.
But today, he's a little disillusioned with modern America.
We're being represented by men who are kowtowing to minorities where they can get votes. And I think it's bad for our country. And I am sad to see minorities make so much of themselves as a hyphenated American. I wish
this is in 1974.
Based as fuck?
Yeah.
I'll get to thinking
on his yacht
that they're Americans as they should, and as they have luckily been born here and couldn't be better off in any other place.
Oh.
There shouldn't be so much whining and bellyaching.
In the late 60s and early 70s, there was a period of considerable change.
Agreed.
So what we're saying is 50 years ago, John Wayne had to take, and it actually fucking happened.
Yeah,
Interesting.
He had it all figured out.
Hmm.
Now somebody tell that hyphenated American to get me a beer. I'm thirsty talking
Oh, it's
to
a
you.
Bacardi, motherfucker.
Rights for blacks, equal rights for women. Has this made America a better place?
I am saddened by the fact...
He must like that interviewer.
Yeah, that's the same dude as like the
Before-
one that was like from 10 years prior, right? Some little twinky English guy. Maybe just like twink English guys.
Maybe, I don't know.
Although we were a matriarchy, I think we will not be any longer. I think opening doors and tipping your hat to ladies is probably a thing of the past. The forerunners of the women's liberation of today have taken that feeling away from the average American man.
Go on.
But what about the civil rights? I mean, it's
What
necessary.
about
Go on, Duke. It seems like you're correct.
John Wayne be stunting on them hoes.
Uh-huh.
the civil rights?
Well, we have 20 million blacks on this continent.
Right.
It was necessary to extend rights to them that perhaps for the first 199 years were denied them in this free America.
I guess that they've had a pretty tough break, but not quite as bad as you and your do-gooder friends would have them believe. They live as well here as they live in any other country over that 199 years. True, I think they do have a right to more rights, but it isn't a thing where the rest of the country should feel terribly guilty about anything because they have had a better life here and their fathers and mothers than they would have had any.
Our thoughts that we've had on previous episodes where we're talking about feminism, and that's feminism 101. The same shit that we're dealing with now, they were dealing with 50 years ago. Yeah. Same bullshit.
God damn, John Wayne is dropping science.
Yes, he is.
I agree with every single thing he's saying.
Any place else.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, that's why I can't stand identity politics when it comes from anybody. Mm-hmm. Because it's like, you prop this group up, then everybody else gets shit on.
Right.
You prop this group up, and everybody else gets shit on. That's why identity politics doesn't work. And there's been multiple studies about saying that identity politics is not a good idea. It's just not a winning strategy. And idiots keep following it because they're fucking dumb.
Yep. I support all different kinds of white people, Derek. I agree with you.
That's why I say I'm not racist. I hate everyone equally.
And I want to see them have everything. I don't squawk and cry baby and say, geez, I had to go without meals when I was 16 and 17 years old. It's a terrible thing. I don't think that you should look back and whine and bellyache or try to hold somebody else guilty for everything you did.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking for the lie. Didn't see any.
I didn't see one either.
He should have kept talking. I could listen to that fucking diatribe for a half an hour. He's on a roll. Oh, good. John Wayne on liberals. It sounds like I'm going to get my wish.
John Wayne on liberals.
What a fucking unit.
You know, it's a funny thing. The Indians now, this AIM group have started something that now they're against me for some reason. But I am the only man in pictures that always give them their human dignity.
Look at that guy. Can you get more American than that guy?
No.
He's got the nice suit, tall guy, in shape, little cigarette, enjoying a cigarette. Love it.
Yeah.
I never was in a picture. I never allowed myself at any time to do anything that would take their human dignity away from them. And that, to me, is the most important thing in a man's. I have found that a certain type that calls himself a liberal, I always thought I was a liberal.
Right there, he's talking about it. We're taking a man's dignity. This EBT SNAP stuff. Like, if you're a man and you accept that without having a smidget of being embarrassed, then I ain't got no time for you.
Mm-hmm. Or a woman.
Or a woman, yeah.
Which is most of them.
Yes. I ain't got time for you if you don't have just a smidgen of being embarrassed that you have to be on it. Because the idea is to be on it and just long enough that's going to help you, and then get off and do your thing. Not to live on it for decades or years. And that's what the struggle is now, is these people that are crying have been on it for years and years and years.
Yeah, how am I supposed to feed my 9 kids? Well, you should have thought of that before you had 9 kids.
When you started spreading your legs and,
Yeah.
But no. How dare you hold the people accountable? How dare you?
I came up terribly surprised one time when I found that I was a right-wing conservative extremist when I have listened to everybody's point of view that I ever met.
That's how I
and
feel,
then
Derek.
decide how I should feel.
That's how you feel?
what he's saying is so right on like a real high level. I view myself as being quite compassionate towards other people. I want everybody to be healthy and happy and safe, regardless of color, regardless of religion.
Yeah, you're a lot more liberal than I am. I'm pretty staunch right wing.
Yeah.
You're
But
a lot more liberal than I am.
But it sounds like John Wayne, what he's saying, he's like, not like me, like, oh, I'm like John Wayne.
But you're like you're moderate, so you represent 90% of the country.
But not
I would say
anymore.
90% of the country would be moderate, right? Either moderate to the left or moderate to the right.
I wouldn't even call it moderate. I call it reasonable.
Yeah.
Like being compassionate towards people who maybe are going through hard times and things like that, which is what I think he's saying. And that's why he's going, I didn't know it was hard, right? I thought I was being like moderate, like
without taking their dignity from them.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, whatever. I feel him. I love you, John Wayne. I wish you were still here. God damn it. To be president. He'd be a great president.
Oh, he would.
Oh, I mean, but this so-called new liberal group, Jesus, they never listen to your point of view, and they make a decision as to what you think, and they're articulate enough and in control of enough of the press to force that
careful
image out for the average person. For some reason, maybe it's these pictures, they have not been able to do that with me. In spite of what they say, people have not taken sides that I'm
because John Wayne got to a certain status where people throwing stones at him wouldn't hurt him.
That's what we were talking about Nicki Minaj earlier. Like, she's Nicki Minaj. What the fuck does she care anymore?
Yeah,
You know what
she's
I
in
mean?
a status where in the black community where she's revered, so she doesn't care.
And I respect that. I mean, I wish I were in that situation where I had millions of dollars in the bank and didn't give a fuck. Because I'd
And
say
we were talking
lots of stuff.
Yeah, we were talking backstage about it where Nicki Minaj is Nicki Minaj in front of the camera, but then I've seen a few videos where she's like super mom behind the camera.
Yeah, she's an entertainer.
Yeah.
She puts on an entertaining act.
So it doesn't surprise me where I would say Nicki Minaj is probably more moderate. She's probably left leaning because she is black, but I would say that she's probably more moderate because it's funny where you see Nicki Minaj and then you see her like super mom.
Well, the funny thing is, like, I know what I believe.
Yeah.
And what I truly believe, I probably wouldn't say on YouTube. So it's nice that you call me a moderate, but I promise you, Derek, I'm not a moderate.
Okay, it's our little secret.
I play a moderate on YouTube.
Me, you, and the 6 people that are watching will hold that secret.
What did Emperor Palpatine say in Return of the wipe them out, all of them? I think was the quote he had.
Oh.
But anyways, I'm just quoting.
It hasn't affected my career in popularity, let's say. In spite of the fact that they've tried to make it do it. There isn't a hell of a lot that we can do to change human behavior. We keep making laws to try and change human behavior. You can't do it. I think you can accept it and
another brilliant take.
Feel how you would.
Yeah, I mean, a law's only going to do so much. If you're a douchebag, you're still a douchebag, regardless if the law's there or not.
Right. You can say stealing is illegal, but people are still going to steal if that's ingrained in their DNA. Not saying that there's people that naturally steal things. I'm just
get a couple of beers in me, and I might say.
No. Right as rain, brother.
You're being conned into Keynesianism and socialism now.
Yeah, that's the way that I feel now. You've got people that are communists, and when you look at these protests and these people are holding the signs, there are groups that are on the signs that are communist groups, but they're not going to say it out loud because if they say it out loud, people are going to reject it. So they kind of slide it into the back door so that people fight for it and stick the signs up in the air, not knowing anything, because they take advantage of the fact that people are fucking dumb.
Believe me, all these left-wing programs, all these liberal programs nowadays, all the protests, they're backed by socialists.
Yeah.
And you're right, Derek. They will print signs out for people who look respectable, hoping to rouse the rabble, the low IQ group, to go in and light cities on fire and steal shit.
Yeah, and if you ask them what they're protesting for, I hate Donald Trump. That's what they're programmed to say, because they're a bunch of fucking morons.
Right, which goes back to my earlier point that we just need to start punching people.
Yeah.
In a compassionate and
I've
moderate
said this
way.
before. If they had an actual point of view, that I would listen to a good point of view or something that they had as far as an idea. I'm willing to do that. But on the opposite side, they're not willing to do that for me.
Yeah, I think we're past the listening point.
Mm-hmm.
But it isn't going to stop the selfishness of human behavior. It isn't going to stop the greed. If you take $20 and give $1 to every son of a bitch in a room, and come back a year later, one of the bastards will have most of the money. I mean, it's just human nature, and you're not gonna whip it with a lot of laws. I think when you make people conscious, as communication gets better, and you make people conscious of somebody in trouble, starving or something like that, the average person will help. But of course now they've got so damn many charities, and there's so much professionalism. You know, there's if you have a charity, you hire some professionals to work up the charity, and by the time you get the money, you get $4 for the recipient and $400 for the administrators.
Yep.
So
yeah, and that's the stuff that I dislike. When some of these charities, if you look at the fine print, they only give like 5% of what they earn to the actual cause. Yep. Everything else is either the president or administrative or office space or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it's kind of sad.
Christ, I think there are people who try to affect a thinking where they know more than some other son of a bitch, and try to put a false impression on what human nature is. Christ's sakes, we have proven that we go back to hope at the first opportunity. Just throw out a little fish and bam, they're out there ready to grab it. So we are optimistic. We have to be optimistic. Christ, what else would there be in life if you lose optimism?
He doesn't sound very optimistic, but okay.
He sure doesn't.
Oh, I wish he wasn't right about everything he said, but he is.
Yep, he is. Okay, so then we got this one. John Wayne talking about communism and capitalism.
I'd like to particularly ask you as well, because it's related to the film industry, about that period in your career in Hollywood when you were to the forefront of the people who were blacklisting the alleged communist members of...
No, that's not a true statement.
Well,
we were not blacklisting.
Well, you were...
They were blacklisting. We didn't name anybody. We stayed completely out of it and said, we are Americans. Anybody?
Interesting how it's finding true right now. Same thing.
It was true then. Like everybody was always like, "Oh, it was awful." The Red Scare, McCarthy. I'm like, he was actually right, kind of, sort of.
Because it's the same bad actors. That's why it's the same story. It's the same bad actors. The No Kings protest are all the hippies from the 60s and 70s. All of them are all 70 years and older, or part of the teachers union.
Yeah, true.
All of them.
True.
It's the same bad actors.
They're teaching your children. People.
Yeah.
Homeschool everybody.
Anybody that wanted to join us, it was fine. We gave no name.
And this could be a hard take, and Julio's probably doesn't speak for me. I'm saying that in 10 years we don't have to deal with them because they'll all be gone. Thank God.
Hope so.
Because like they're not adding anything. They're retired or they're in the teachers union and they're just spewing hate. Like how well did the 60s and 70s go?
No,
Not very well.
Didn't work out, and I agree with you, Derek.
The music and the movies are great, but as far as like societal stuff, it was shit. The hippie movement went to shit, and it's all the same bad actors that we have to see now.
Yep, and it's no surprise that the music and the movies were great because that gave the general public something to look at. While in the meantime, they're back there doing their socialist bullshit.
Yeah,
like
trying to
like,
quietly put it in the fucking society.
They're like termites.
Yeah.
Once they bore in, they're hard to get rid of.
Better get the damn raid spray.
Aims out to anybody at any time ever.
But when you look back at that now, John, at this space of time, I mean, are you proud of what happened in Hollywood at that time?
I think it was probably a very necessary thing at the time because the radical liberals were going to take over our business. And
Jewish
we wouldn't have had any pictures like that then.
No, but seriously, though, were they in a position? I mean, the people who got kicked out of Hollywood, surely they were.
Who were kicked out?
Well, the people.
Now, wait a minute. Tell me who was kicked out.
Well, the people who left Hollywood. I mean, let's take for an example, Carl Foreman.
Yeah, Carl Foreman.
I mean, was Dalton Trumbo?
Dalton Trumbo.
Look what happened to Larry Parks.
Larry Parks admitted that he'd been a commie and he went on working.
Well, he didn't work for some time. It had a very
well. He
adverse
hadn't
effect
worked
on
a
his
hell of a
career.
lot before that, had he?
Well, no, but I mean, these aren't people. Surely are they?
AKA, he sucks.
That was a nice one.
Who you would expect to take over the industry?
Well, at the time, it seemed rather serious.
People that want to entertain and tell stories. That's who the people that should take over. Not somebody who has an agenda.
Yes.
And they were getting themselves into a position where they could control who would do the writing.
But isn't it right that people of all shades of opinion should be able to make movies, whether they be extreme right wing or extreme left wing?
Definitely. Any time that is their opinion, fine. But trouble there was that they were spouting by rote somebody else's way of life.
See, NPCs.
And that's all right for those fellas over there.
Yeah, there's NPCs back then, too.
He was just, talking about NPCs.
Mm-hmm.
God damn, this guy was a
That's
prophet.
the way they want to live, but we don't have to have it in our country.
No, well, you could say, of course, that
was our
you could say
point
that,
of view.
Yes, but you could say that your point of view was reflecting the capitalist way of life, the American way of life.
Well, and I don't think that capitalist is such a...
Name one communist country that's been successful.
Well, there aren't any.
Oh, there you go.
Did I get that right?
That's correct.
Nailed it.
Nailed it times 10. Let me get you.
You have a ding sound effect. Even better.
An unpopular word, it's...
And that's why they try to pigeonhole it in the United States, is because if somebody gives their retarded policies, they're going to get rejected. That's why they try to pigeonhole it.
The reason I am anti-socialist and communist is because I think capitalism is what people do when they're free and they have freedom.
Yeah.
You always want to be better at what you do. You want to be successful. That's human nature. Communism and socialism is trying to squash all that.
Yeah.
And pretend everybody's the same, which is racist as fuck. We're not all the same.
Yeah.
We all have different talents. I'm a better guitar player than you. You're a better camera guy than me. That's a good thing. We're good at what we're good at.
I agree with you.
In 200 years, we've taken a wilderness and built a factory that feeds the world, a farm that supplies the world, and a farm that feeds the world. And we've been doing our best to help everybody out that we can. So I think it's a pretty good way of living.
I'd like to
I think John Wayne is correct again.
Haven't disagreed with one thing he said.
Me neither. Okay, so this is John Wayne giving advice to young men after a few drinks. So he is a couple of sheets in the wind.
Oh, all right. Hey.
If you guys don't start...
You guys!
Men, we're going to have a lousy country. Let me explain something to you. We would have kicked the goddamn hell.
Is this the man who wrecked the buffet at the Hero Club? You ever seen Beverly Hills Cop 1?
Yeah.
Where it's like, is this the man who wrecked the buffet? That's what it sounds like.
Out of this organization, I can't understand how it can happen in the United States of America that this can happen, and there aren't enough guys of your age to go up. I don't give a shit if you go to the school or not. You can't stand to have this happen. Oh Christ! I'm not trying to talk for clapping. I'm trying to talk for you guys. You better start
John Wayne. Serious, you better listen to John Wayne.
Getting to be goddamn
interrupt me with your clapping.
Jesus.
Life is tough, but it's tougher when you're stupid.
But there's no both sides.
See, sides of it.
Exactly.
I mean, even drunk, he's amazing.
And in 2025, there's cucks that sit there and just kowtow whatever women say. And that's part of the problem. And I'm not saying you have to be a dick. I'm just saying is for these freaking dudes who just give the girls whatever they want, and then as soon as the girls get power, they fucking put socialist programs in and all kinds of weird shit.
Well, that's why young men don't
save the whales and climate control and all this other shit.
The communists and the socialists have had so much success over the past 2 or 3 decades that young men don't want to date anymore. Like they're like, it's too much trouble. It's going to wind up on the negative end. So never mind.
Yeah.
I'll just play video games and hang out in my house.
Yeah, because I mean, is the juice worth the squeeze? We should be asking that question. Is the juice worth the squeeze?
That's a perfect way to put it. I would argue that it is, but I can see why people would think it's not.
Okay, so I've got 3 or 4 videos that are actors or people that have worked with John Wayne and sort of what they thought, or they met him and stuff like that.
Done El Dorado. I had done
James Caan, great actor,
great, amazing.
The Glory of the guys. I had done before The Godfather.
Dude.
I think The Godfather was like my 5th.
Oh yeah,
5th or 6th film. I had done a few films.
You worked with John Wayne and
John Wayne, yeah, John Wayne.
What was he like?
He was a piece of work. He was. I enjoyed it. It took a little while, because he'd try to get you intimidated, and we became pretty close, but only because he knew I was like a half-ass star.
well, because he's had a bunch of success, and the dude is 6'4", almost 6'5", 250 pounds. So
Yeah,
of course he's going to be intimidating, just his stature.
You're right.
But man, and that's what he liked. Didn't matter. And he would really try to intimidate you, like, so the first week was me and him, and I come out of this, the neighborhood playhouse, the studio, and I'm looking at this guy act. Now, why'd you do it? Look, why'd you have to go and do it? And I'm looking at him, and I can't believe that I'm listening to this. So I just started, every time he talked, the only reality was that I was smiling at the way, So when Mitchum came, he looked at some of the dailies. He goes, "You're doing a lot of smiling there, Jiminy Cricket," because I wore his hat, and he called me Jiminy Cricket. I go, "What do you want me to do?" But I had a really good time with those guys. I mean, of course, I had to wear lifts this big between those 2 guys, and Howard Hawks, and
Howard Hawks.
yeah.
How was he? How was he to work with?
He was his own guy. Nobody told Howard what to do. You know, he'd go and write an eighth of a page in the Danish trailer, and we'd just ride horses and wait for him to come out, you know. Paramount wasn't going to say nothing. And the Duke said, now look, you kid. He said, when he yells action, I want you to turn around and give me that look you give me. I have no idea what he's talking about. So Hawks, of course, comes walking across. We had the whole town full of like 4-ups. It was a huge shot. The three of us come running around this corner at night, and there were 4-ups and 2-ups and stagecoaches and 200 extra, the whole town. And the whole idea was the three of us come around and we're going to attack this bar. The bad guys are in this bar down the end. So Duke comes around, now look at Mississippi. You go down around there and I'll do this and da-da-da. And I say something and I
I'm a hippie.
go. That was what Hawks wanted me to do. And he goes, Jimmy, he says, when you say that line, just go. I said, all right, coach, you know. He just walked back to the thing. As he's walking back, Duke turns to me and says, now look at kid. When you say that there line, he says, I want you to take a step and turn around and give me that look you give me. All right? Action. Oh, everybody's going. The stage goes. I take a step. I stop. Turn around. Cut.
Oh, all right, okay. Lisa, I'm sorry. He's like, you schmuck. He's got, you went so far forward that you went away from the I'm sorry, but all right, tell me. You're behind the thing, everything's set up.
Yeah, no, so, but the point is that Wayne told me every time, he says, take a step, turn around. So I do it, and then Hawks would yell, cut, and come walking the thing. They'd reset everything, which took a half hour. And he'd go, look, kid, he says, when you say the line, just go. All right, coach, sorry. All right, now he walks, he goes, as he's walking back to the camera, he goes, now look, kid. He says, don't take a whole step. Just take a half a step and then turn around and give me that look you give me. I still have no idea what the friggin' look is. I think it was smiling. I mean, I was just laughing at it. Action, everything starts up again. I take a half a step, turn around. God! Comes and does yelling. He says, what's the matter with you? Can't you just say the line and go? Coach, I'm really sorry. I don't know what happened. I had a brain fart, something, you know. He starts walking back and he goes, nah, look, kid. And I turned around and Mitchum Grant, I was going to hit him. And from that day, we were like, you know, if he knew what he was doing, you know, he just was having a good time at my expense. But it turned out I'd be off camera, right? I'd be off camera after a while. And
Am I waiting? Yes, you're waiting. Okay.
But now, as a week went by, you know, like I'd be off camera and Hawks would be next to me and Duke would be, you know, sitting there and the camera there. And right in the middle of my scene, I'd go, right? And he'd laugh and, Duke, what's the matter there? He said, oh, nothing, Pappy. Sorry, just, you know. And, you know, it just became just see who could screw up who. You know, like one day they had, you remember those wooden dressing rooms they had? I come to lunch and my dressing room's locked. I go, excuse me, guys, how come it's locked? I can't get in there. Well, here's the key. Garbage just came out. He just piled it with garbage. He was like a 12-year-old kid, dude. You know?
What a jackass. It would piss me off.
That's pretty funny.
Yep. James Caan is the most Italian, non-Italian I've ever seen. Like
he's not actually Italian?
No, he's Jewish.
Interesting.
But the way he talks, like his hands flailing everywhere, very, very Italian.
So, so Opie has a John Wayne story.
Opie Cunningham.
So I know you love rehearsing. Somebody else that loved it quite a lot was John Wayne.
Well, yeah, the very first time that I met him, I arrived in Carson City, Nevada. I was met by the director, Don Siegel, in the hotel. And Siegel says, let's take you up and meet Duke. And, you know, this was his last movie, The Shootist. But you know, it was epic in every way. So we're heading toward the elevator through the hotel lobby. We walk by the gift and sundries shop, and there is the magazine stand, and right there is TV Guide. And that week, Henry Winkler and I happened to be posing in our Happy Days costumes on the cover. And he said, oh, this is great, I'm gonna buy this and show Duke. And I was like, well, I don't know. Are you sure you want to show the Happy Days thing? I don't know. And he said, oh, no, he'll love it. He'll love it. So he bought it. We got in the elevator. We went up, opened the door, meet John Wayne. He's giant. He doesn't have his hairpiece on, though. So he's a giant bald man. And reaches out his hand to the media, and it just dwarfs my hand. I mean, just... I don't know how tall he was, 6'6", 6'7", but his hands were like a 7-footer. I mean, he was just huge. And it's like, I've shook hands with Shaq O'Neal. It's kind of like that. Yeah. And so then Don Siegel says, hey, look, Duke, look at this. And he hands him the TV guide. John Wayne sort of squints at it, looks at me, looks back down at it, looks at me. He says, big shot, huh? And I thought, oh man, I'm screwed now. But had a fine meeting, and as we started shooting, I realized we had a lot of dialogue together, where I just could see that he was fighting the lines, and I was a little nervous about it too. And I said, you want to run lines? And he said, yeah. We went to his trailer and started running the lines, and he loved it. So that became our ritual.
And people were otherwise kind of on edge or terrified of him.
People were really careful around him, and it's not that he was throwing fits and kicking over C-stands and throwing boxes around or anything, but they gave him space. He was the Duke.
Do you think John Wayne appreciated that he had asked because he was taking it seriously, as opposed to just like, it's just a gig. You know what I mean? Like, ask him to run lines, even though John Wayne at this point is already over 200 films under his belt.
I don't know. I'm not sure. He could have been annoyed, or he could have gone, oh, look at this guy taking it seriously. Yeah, I don't know. I would appreciate it, personally.
Yeah.
It's like when you have an old band with a new producer. Sometimes the old bands want a new producer, a young producer, because they'll tell them, they won't revere them. They'll just say, hey, you need more bass over there. And
really? They won't be kissing their ass as much?
No, no. Rush actually did that. They said, we wanted a producer after all these years to tell us what to do and what we were doing wrong. They were open-minded. So maybe John Wayne was open-minded to somebody else's direction.
Or even a third party that's not in the middle of it that can give you a different point of view.
Yeah.
I can understand that.
It's a good thing. Be open-minded.
Duke. Right. And I just realized that other people weren't engaging with him, but he was an actor and wanted to make sure he had the scene under control. And we developed a great rapport,
And 6 months after filming wrapped, he was interested in working with you again.
Yeah, we crossed paths at AFI dinner honoring Henry Fonda. I had done a TV show with Henry Fonda, so I was invited. And I saw him, and he said, I found a book. I want to make it into a movie, and it's you and me or it's nobody. And by this time, we also kind of knew he was ill and declining. And so it was really poignant to see that he still had that drive, but also to know that he wanted to work together again, which meant a lot to me. Yeah. I worked with John Wayne. I worked with Glenn Ford, Shirley Jones, Henry Fonda, briefly with Jimmy Stewart. I directed Bette Davis. There was something that I was learning early in my career from all of these people, very different personalities. And so I was working with people who were, fully established superstars, had won all the Oscars they were going to win, and yet still wanting to work. And when they showed up, it was winning time. It was time to be good. It was time to try to be great.
How much did John Wayne's wish that he had directed more stick with you?
Well, it certainly impressed me, and he was such a big star, and also at a time when actors just didn't really do that. But this really fueled my dream and my ambition.
So yeah, that was kind of cool.
I wonder, as a revered actor, at some point, do you get tired of people treating you like you're a revered actor? Or do you think you would like it if some young guy came up to you and said, whatever, you're John Wayne, who cares?
I don't know. It's hard to say. Like that he didn't want people to kiss his ass?
I would think so. That would get tiring after a while, don't you think?
I would think so. I mean, obviously he passed away, but he wanted to work with Ron Howard because he'd seen something about him and the way he conducted his business that he liked. Yeah. So maybe he appreciated the fact that Ron Howard didn't kiss his ass. That just said, "Hey, you want to run lines?"
Yep. And he might have seen something in Ron Howard, which he was right again.
Yeah.
Because Ron Howard had a great directing career.
Yeah. So I mean, it's hindsight because he only got to work with him once before he passed away, but. It is interesting. It'd be interesting to just ask somebody that's been there, done that, got the T-shirt.
Yeah.
Like, what's it like to be on the top of the world, and then after a while, do you get tired of people like kid gloves and kissing your ass? Like, how does that feel? You know what I mean?
I would think you would. That's probably why a lot of people like that, like Brando and those types, their circles are small.
Yeah.
The people they trust, because they're just don't want to deal with the rank and file anymore.
Yeah. Okay, so this is just kind of a group of actors that worked with or met John Wayne, and this is the last one I have for the John Wayne.
All right.
Stuff. So let's give it a shot.
Jimmy, I read once that that John Wayne had a real, like a father figure type relations with a lot of the younger actors. Now, you worked with him in '67 with El Dorado. Now, what are your memories of working with the Duke?
Well, he was, I was like a kid, I was 22, 23, he was like a 12-year-old kid. If he could intimidate you, he'd stay on you, But one day I just couldn't take it anymore. I went back at him, and from that time on, we had, he was funny. I mean, he made me, there was nobody else around. In the beginning, we played chess with one another, and there'd be a phone call, and I'd go answer, I come back, and a piece. I said, "Hey, man, that rook was over here." The hell it was over here. And he'd cheat.
Well, that sounds
pretty
annoying.
Funny, And then I'd get out, and the way he had intimidated me at first, when I was off camera, and there was Howard Hawks, we called Coach, and I was off camera, and he right in the middle of a scene, and I go, and he'd start laughing, and Hawks would say, "What's the matter?" And he'd go, nothing,
Jimmy Caan did something that you also did. He was in a John Wayne movie.
Yeah.
And with him, it's John Wayne tested him a lot. Now,
what was that?
I said it's another guy from The Godfather, because Jimmy Caan was in The Godfather, and this is Robert Duvall, I think.
Yeah.
What was the Duke like with you?
I'll tell you, it's strange. Henry Hathaway. I saw the way he directed a guy, and he said to the guy, now can you imagine saying this to Johnny Unitas in the Super Bowl? He said to this actor, this is the direction, quote unquote, "When I say action, tense up, God damn it." This is what he said to the actor. I said, oh. So now we got in this big argument for 20 minutes. I called him every night. He was saying he didn't know, and I got lightheaded. And finally, John Wayne said, "I do believe he's got the boy's dandruff." He started laughing and everything, and John Wayne was getting his big kick out of the whole thing,
Now, you worked with John Wayne a number of times. How imposing a figure was he on the set? Because you must have hit it off that you worked with him a number of times.
I'll tell you, that's interesting because he was imposing enough that even if you were having dinner with him or you were in a circumstance...
I believe he just recently died, I think.
I think you're right.
Last week or so.
Which was totally at ease. You never forgot that...
He was funny as hell in frickin' Naked Gun.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was also in, was he in Ace Ventura?
I never saw Ace Ventura, so I don't know. I do know that he was in a lot of stuff, because there were a lot of movies I'd watch and go, hey, it's that guy from Naked Gun.
Yeah.
You were with an icon. You just couldn't. Wayne, even if he was had a few in him or what have you, was still John Wayne. And it didn't affect the relationship. You could talk but you never forgot. It's very rare that that happens.
You worked with John Wayne in Brannigan.
Yeah.
What do you remember of those experiences?
He was the consummate professional. He knew exactly what he was going to do before he came on the set. He knew his lines backwards. He had very firm ideas as to how he wanted it to be shot. Don't photograph me from here, this is how I like to do this, etc., etc., etc. And my respect and affection for him was profound. I mean, was very deep. I absolutely disagreed with him politically. I mean, he was.
Yeah, my guess is he's a homosexual and he disagreed with John Wayne. My guess.
That's the opposite almost to what I am. But that was not.
I've got one more video. It's only like 7 minutes. It's Lee Marvin talking about working with John Wayne and John Ford. But yeah, pretty much we're getting there.
All right.
Not part of our work. Our work was making the movie, and outside, I wouldn't like to have met him in a dark alley, you know, if we were opposing views. But no, he was a great chap.
We got along terrifically well. It's amazing for two people whose opinions on almost everything were diametrically opposed to one another. We had natural chemistry between us, and I don't know why or how, there's no explanation for that, but it was there. And he was wonderful, and he was really sick. And his behavior all through it was terrific, and he gave a wonderful performance. And he was living that part, I'm afraid. So it wasn't a question of sizing anyone up. It was just I was glad to work with him again.
When you think of actors that you worked with that you were intimidated by, now where does he rate in the larger-than-life figures?
Well, you know, he was a lesson to me. I didn't want him for my picture, The Cowboys. I wanted George Scott. The studio really, because the reason I didn't want him is I knew him to be a right-wing, we were antithetical human beings, polar opposites.
I mean, apparently there was this bickering between left and right back then.
Yeah, it's funny that he said he just didn't want to hire the best cowboy movie actor of all time because he didn't agree with
right-wing politics. Really? How about my movie opening and I make a lot of money? That doesn't have anything to do with anything?
It's in every possible way. But I must tell you that he seduced me in a way that was remarkable. I flew to Mexico where he was shooting a picture. He really wanted to do The Cowboys. He treated me with most respect. I was like this, waiting for him to say something anti-Semitic or anti-Indian or anti-anything. I was ready to jump on him. But
why?
He taught me a lesson. You know, I know a lot of people with whom I.
Yeah, because every cowboy and Indian movie where the Indians lose, they want to sit there and argue about the Indians not getting the right treatment. And then it's our land, and we stole it from the Indians. It's the same left-wing talking points.
Yeah, actually,
Same
watching these clips makes me realize how many NPCs there were back then.
Yeah,
I mean, this guy's directing a movie, right? And he wants it to be a great movie with great actors and a great story. He's like, oh, I was just waiting for him to say something against the Jews, the anti-Semitic. Like, what, really? Why don't you just go direct the movie?
Yeah, no shit.
I don't know.
Like that's not a thing or anything like that.
Agree politically and otherwise, who are jerks. And then you take someone like him, who I disagreed with in almost every area except art. And he was a terrific person. The first guy on the set, the last person to leave. The picture was full of kids. They climbed on him like a monkey bar in a playground. He was available to everybody. We went out to dinner. He would sign autographs for everybody. He never was unfair or unpleasant. And it was a big lesson to me not to prejudge.
I got one question.
I mean, even though the first half of that was retarded, the second half I appreciate that where he actually learns something.
Here's what I didn't like about that. He was setting up John Wayne at the beginning of the story as being a bad person.
Yeah.
And then he's like, but he's actually a good person. I'm like, why would you have thought he was a bad person to begin with?
Because of his politics.
He
That's
set
how
up,
these fucking people
he
think.
set up a fake villain.
Yeah.
To then, make him okay at the end. It's
it is sad.
about
Yeah.
John Wayne.
Yeah.
You know, you did something to him that hasn't been done
Nobody
very
else
often.
did.
Or
Nobody.
What did he say to you before that?
He said to me just before I pulled the trigger and the first take, "Ooh, how they're gonna hate you for this." And I said, "Maybe, but in Berkeley, I'm a goddamn hero." And that was, you have to remember, that was 1972.
Is that Ed Begley Jr.?
No. But who, that guy?
Yeah.
Oh, they just showed his name, and I knew Bruce Dern. That's Laura Dern's dad.
Oh, gotcha.
He's another drop acid hippie, which is what he was saying. They love me in Berkeley because you know they're all lefties in Berkeley, and I shot John Wayne, and these people are
just on a Playboy interview and
obsessed with this stuff.
It's crazy.
It's weird.
But she'd ripped everybody in America that wasn't.
It's crazy that they validate you as a person because of who you voted for.
Mm-hmm.
That you're incapable of having a good thought because of that one thing, and that's retarded.
I agree.
That's basically not being racist, but being like
being judgmental.
Yeah, but if you're automatically not being racist, it's almost like
bigoted,
closed-minded,
classist.
Like, poof poof. I'm better than you because I view I view the world this way, like everyone else, and then you're just kind of just piff piff.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
that's
It's almost like a classist type thing.
That's why I didn't like that director's comments. He's like, "Well, you wouldn't think this guy, this thing was nice, but he actually
the first one on
was."
set, the last one off set, yeah.
Like John Wayne needs that guy. Look, I know who John Wayne is. I'd never heard of that guy's name. Mark Rydell?
Yeah.
Who the fuck is that? I don't know.
And by that time, John Wayne's over 200 pictures with this guy.
Right.
So, like, a guy that's got 200 pictures versus a guy that nobody's ever heard of.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm going to guy with 200 pictures. Just saying.
Waspy white, a new behind, and I didn't care about anybody. And then right after that, he won the Harvard Hasty Pudding Award for the Worst Actor of the Year, and he's the only actor who ever went and accepted it. And he went to his friend at the Pentagon. They gave him a tank, and I don't know if you remember this, and he went right down Commonwealth Avenue into Harvard Square in the tank and accepted his Hasty Pudding Award for being the worst actor of the year.
Legend.
I mean, that's great. We don't have people that do stuff like that anymore.
But did you have warm memories of him?
Oh, I loved him. I loved him. You know why I loved him? Because he loved to make movies. I love to make movies. I love the day-to-day making of the movie.
Process.
That was pretty positive.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm going to show a little bit of this scene of the man who shot Liberty Valance.
Okay.
And then Lee Marvin is the one that's playing the main villain. So that's why I kind of want to show part of this scene. And this has got all the players. It's got Lee Marvin in it. It's got John Wayne. It's got Pompey, and it's got yeah. So we're going to watch it real quick. So the first cut of the movie, the guy coming out of the door gets whipped and accosted at the very beginning of the movie.
Okay.
So this is the guy that did it, and he's walking out with his food in his hand. So that's why they smacked it on the table. Oh, it's so good. That's my favorite.
Like
okay,
called the guy Pilgrim.
Yeah, I called him Pilgrim. You pick it up. Okay, so this is Lee Marvin. He's the one that plays the main bad guy.
Okay.
And he's talking about John Ford, the director, and then he's also talking about John Wayne.
Working for John Ford on The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance and then later Donovan's Reef, so much has been written about the man, and I think some of it seems to paint him as this simple kind of Irishman, but in reality, he was really a very complex person.
He was an intellect. Tough Irish intellect. I don't think there can be anything worse than that. In other words, he has all the demons in him, the Irish demons. And he's also intelligent.
So just out of context, Lee Marvin did The Dirty Dozen, 1967. The Cat Ballo, Paint Your
Cat Ballou.
Wagons. What was that?
Cat Ballou.
Cat Ballou. Point Blank, and then The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, and then The Professional in 1966. So that's sort of like the greatest hits. Delta Force, Death Hunt. Yeah, those are kind of the main ones he did. So he did a lot of cowboy and Indian, military.
Yeah, he was a well-known actor.
Yeah.
And when the script is written, etc., if there was ever a difficult scene, he'd always shoot it at the end of the day. So he'd break for tea about 4. And he'd say, all right, now we're going to do this scene. So, walk through it, put the marks down, and go for the first take. Now we're all set and all juiced and ready to go, right? And he'd look at his watch and say, all right, that's the wrap, first shot in the morning. Now you leave the set like this, you're wired. And all night long you're saying, hey, geez, I was ready to go. I mean, why did I have to live with this like this? And you say, was I? Then you start to criticize yourself in the scene. You say, oh my God, I would have done that. Oh, it's wrong. So now you come to work the next morning knowing how you're going to change what you're doing. And you see that the set is all changed. All the marks are up, the camera's gone, everything. You say, all right, now let's run that scene again. Totally different and right. In other words, he'd let you sweat it for a night and he'd sweat it for a night. And you do it in the morning. I mean, that's how bright he was about things like that.
Bill Clothier told me in an interview that he had tried to talk Ford into shooting Liberty Valance in color. That he felt the black and white was wrong, it was dated, or whatever. But then when he was actually seeing the dailies and seeing the mood of the piece, that there was no other way but to shoot it in black and white.
Well, black and white saves you a lot of problems. It takes you back into the mystical past. I mean, for instance, there's so many films you see today that'd be better in black and white, except that the distributors won't handle them. They say our audiences want color. So if you have a night scene in a dark alley in color, it really doesn't amount to much. If you did it in black and white like in the old days, what they could do with shadows, it'd be much more dramatic.
Yeah, and like The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, there's a scene where Jimmy Stewart is going to have a gunfight with the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
And John Wayne is in the alley ready to basically shoot Liberty Valance. And they've done it with all these shadows where you see the shadow on the wall of John Wayne just kind of sitting there. And like you can get away with that stuff in black and white. Color is you got to manipulate the shadows and everything a lot different when you're doing it in color versus in black and white.
All right.
One of these days I'd love to do a movie in black and white. I did an interview series for The Warrior where at the premiere I had about 4 of the actors kind of stand there and I asked them questions, and then I put it in black and white, and it worked because it was like I didn't have very much controllable light, so it's like you know what, I'm just going to do this in black and white so I don't have to worry about it.
Make it easier.
Yeah, and it worked. So
I mean, look at the Joan Crawford films.
The Curtiz, the way he used the light.
These bars of light and the moods and the beauty. I mean, it was, for some reason, I don't know how to put this here. For some reason, it allowed you to experience it in its purity. Whereas in color, it allows you to tear it apart. Because if there's a red rose in the corner, it's going to be just as red, because they're going to light it. Having nothing to do with the scene. And your eye goes, I think it blows it.
Working with John Wayne, I did the Comancheros and Liberty Valance, Donovan's Reef. The scene that always stands out in my mind in Liberty Valance, when you have that good 30-second stare down with him after you've tripped Jimmy Stewart, the hash slinger. Ford and Wayne, of course, had worked together for years. What was their thing like? Did I guess very little communication going on there
with who?
Between Wayne and Ford?
What do you mean little? I don't understand.
In terms of that communication between actor and director.
Oh no, Ford had talked to Duke all the time.
Yeah.
Oh no, he directed Duke. And I think Duke relied on him very much to direct him. Because I think that Duke felt very, very enamored of what Jack, Coach, Pop, or whatever they called him, had done for his career. Because he'd say, "Oh, don't do that, Duke." And Duke would go like that and then do what he told him to do, and boy, it was just brilliant. I mean, I think Ford was very responsible for Wayne's tremendous persona in Westerns.
He had one of the great death scenes in Liberty Valance, when you hit the floor on your knees, fall forward, take one step off, and into the street.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
Yeah. I did that once, and he said, "What are you doing, kid?" I said, "Well, I'm such a bad guy, I thought I'd fall down on my knees like I was praying, and then realized that didn't work and go." He says, "Yeah, okay, all right. Give me a bunch of silver dollars and stick them in his hat." Because I'd won a poker game just before that. And so when I went down, silver flies out of my head onto the boardwalk, and one of them's spinning, and you could hear it. And it was so good that they had to cut it out because it was going into mythology, see, or too far into mythology. So then, of course, a week later, when we did the interior of the gambling game, he says, "Don't forget to put the silver dollars in your hat." I said, "You're right."
Donovan's Reef was.
But I love this character in the Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, because he was kind of a smart ass, but he was also a bully at the same time. So in that clip that I showed you, where he's just like, "So look at the little waitress,"
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's just a smart ass dickhead.
I like that the interviewer was like, "Remember that time when you dropped to your knees and died and fell forward? Yeah, that was great." And Lee Marvin's like,
okay.
Okay. It was like that Chris Farley skit in Saturday Night Live. You ever see that, where he was a talk show host?
Yeah.
He interviewed Paul McCartney. He's like, "Hey,
You remember the time that you
remember that time you sang Yesterday on Ed Sullivan? That was awesome."
That was great. It was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of the same thing.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. I grabbed 10 or 11 videos just talking about John Wayne. So kind of what's your thoughts about kind of wrapping this up?
I love him. I didn't know he was so based. Who knew? And he was speaking truth, and a lot of the things that he said back in the early 70s ring true in 2025.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tons of respect for him. And listening to those other people saying, "Well, I work with him despite the fact that I didn't like his politics," the fact that he had the balls to say that shit back then, that makes me respect him even more. And
Yeah,
more
I still can't grasp the fact that people think that way.
I don't
You know
know.
what I mean?
Yeah, we need.
I won't work with this person because I'm better than them. I vote for the Democratic Party. I'm one of those people.
It tells me that
I hate that shit.
The people who are creating the movie, the director doesn't really care about the movie. Because if you cared about your art, you would put the best artists in your art.
Yeah.
And not work with people because they don't agree with you on politics. What does politics have to do with movies?
Yeah.
Let's make the fucking movie.
It's entertaining people, telling a story.
Play the song. Who cares what your politics are?
Exactly. So yeah, I don't understand the thought process for people.
Nope.
And it was there was another show that one of the girls had said that right-wing people don't know how to make art. And I completely emphatically disagree with that. But the one thing I don't disagree with is right-wing people typically don't follow people that make art, even if they are on the right. Because they automatically think that you're a lefty, even though you're not.
Yeah, I would say that most good art is generally created by lefties. Music, movies, most of the stuff that we think is great, probably a liberal behind it.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where it's like, I don't agree with right-wing people can't make art.
No, I don't agree with that either.
But I think right-wing people don't follow people that make art because they automatically think they're a lefty.
Oh, I see what you're saying. All right.
That's the problem I have with the right-wing audience is the right-wing audience aren't going to research maybe a new project somebody's working on, or they automatically think, oh, it's Hollywood, so they're a lefty. It's like, no, it's not the case at all.
All right, so they already feel they're not part of the crew, so to speak,
Yes.
so they don't bother.
Correct.
Okay, maybe.
So I
Hopefully-
I don't disagree that right-wing people can't make a good art. The audience is different. So
Well, hopefully-
sometimes you have to make it so that it leans to the left a little bit because the right-wing people are not going. They automatically think you're a lefty.
Well, hopefully, people in the independent sphere will be able
Which
to.
I call people on the left for doing that shit, and I'll call people on the right for doing that shit. You know what I mean?
You know what's funny is if you look at memes and stuff like that that's on
Yeah.
the internet, the funny shit's always the right wing stuff.
Yeah, like
the left cannot meme.
No,
they're not
they-
funny.
No.
They have no self awareness. The right are the ones. that
Yeah,
will crack you up.
people on the left are quirky, or they can come up with scenarios that people can relate to. But yeah, as far as like on a dime, no.
Yeah. Well, God bless John Wayne.
Yeah,
Glad I
bless
learned
John
more
Wayne.
about him, and now I want to watch one of his movies.
Yeah, I recommend The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, but that's just my personal bias.
I'll watch that. I actually want to watch him pontificate on politics while he's drunk more too. Hopefully, there's more drunk John Wayne.
Oh, well,
that I can
there
listen
is.
to.
There's so much, dude. When I did research with it, there's so much. I was just like, well, I'm just going to pick about 12 videos and we'll go through that.
Yeah.
Because we could literally be on the stream all fucking night. So, all right. Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Jim, for stopping by. I appreciate you. So I saw Scorpio. Thank you, Scorpio. Appreciate you. Thank you for the 7 people that are watching us. I appreciate you guys. Come check us out. Generally, we do Tuesdays and Sundays. We try to keep it at 7 o'clock, but today we wanted to do a little bit earlier, so that's why we kind of popped in a little earlier. But yeah, we're definitely do Tuesdays and Sundays, and then sometimes we'll throw in a Thursday or something. Kind of depends.
Yep. Tuesday at 7, right?
Yep. And then
All right.
go check out my film, The Warrior, on Amazon Prime, and it's going to be coming on to the YouTube's movies soon. And then also, what is your band's name, Julio?
It's The Prominent Citizens. YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Amazon. Check them out.
Rumble Rants, Blood Draws.
You're right. Check them out. Check us out. Not them.
And check us out. And if you're not
Check me
subscribed,
out.
you better subscribe. So, because we do the live streams, but it really sets up the fact that the people love the clips. So a lot of times I will snippet parts of the live stream and then go to the clips, and people like watching that stuff. They don't necessarily want to watch the entire 4-hour live stream, but when I clip it out to 15-minute chunks, people love that stuff. So I will definitely keep doing it. And yeah, that's about it. Any final thoughts?
Nope, not really. Hail to the Redskins. That's my final thought.
All right. All right. Bye, everybody.
See ya.
Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Keep my head up when I act, head up, that's a fact. Never looking back, I'ma keep myself on track. Keep my head up, staying strong, always moving on. Feel I don't belong, tell my thoughts to move along. Push myself to be the best, die with no regrets. Live with every breath, see my message start to spread. And I had so many dreams, then you hit your teens. Life ain't really what it seems, try to find out what it means. Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Yeah, I put out all this art, it's my only medicine. Yeah, everything I do, I'm just being genuine. Yeah, I'm sick of being screwed, feel my own adrenaline. Yeah, I do just what I do, and I hope you let me in, yeah. stuff. Everybody listen up, cause I'll only say it once. I'm gonna show you all the path. If you want it bad, I'm gonna show you where it's at. Yeah, how you can get it back. Yeah, cause I ain't